Parliament's Committee on Delegated Legislation is seeking to exempt the national carrier Kenya Airways from paying minimum tax once it comes into effect. In its plea to the committee, KQ stated that the introduction of another tax burden will burden the airline's obligation further, especially in the midst of the pandemic. The exemption, if approved, will apply to Kenya Airways and all its 5 subsidiaries. Faisal Ahmed has more on this story.
Cash-strapped Kenya Airways is pleading with the National Assembly through the Committee on Delegated Legislation to exempt it and its subsidiaries from paying minimum income tax once it's implemented. KQ requested to be exempt from paying the minimum tax, citing the COVID-19 pandemic had affected the airline's operations, worsening its financial position. Further, under the current situation, the minimum tax will render the company unstable, given that the airline continued paying expenses even during suspension of all flights occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. KQ is seeking exemption from the minimum tax for 5 of its subsidiaries, including low-cost carrier Jambojet, Kenya Air Freight Handling, Africa Cargo Handling Limited, Ken Cargo Airlines International Limited and Fahari Aviation Limited. In its last financial statement, the national carrier reported a 36.57 billion shillings pre-tax loss, in which it was to pay 10.05 billion shillings. And with the introduction of the minimum tax, the airline will be forced to pay an extra 365 million shillings. The law, which came to effect last year, has been challenged in court, with the High Court stopping its implementation. The law, however, does not exempt under Section 12D of the Income Tax Act from paying minimum tax where the entity is in a profit-making position or not. The Finance Act 2020 amended the Income Tax Act, introduced minimum tax to be charged on all business enterprises, whether they are profit-making or not. This was meant to discourage tax planning.